Hi, everybody. I'm kind of taking a break from writing about my modes and states of life to talk about something that's kind of come up with people in the past, and this is the idea of being afraid to jump into religious life, which is a really valid fear. It can seem like a huge commitment. Um, and I don't want to denigrate your fear by saying you shouldn't be afraid because your emotional responses are important. Um, so where do we go from there? When I was in the theater, you act, and a lot of actors get stage fright, which I've come to realize that stage fright means you care, that you want to do something well, and that you're afraid of doing it poorly or other things. That might be part of what you're experiencing. Maybe it's stage fright. Another thing is, a lot of us come from lives. I know I had a life before I entered religious life. And the idea that you're giving up all that can be paralyzing, especially if you have a good job or something like that. To say that um, I'm going to leave this job and I'm going to jump into this unknown thing to see if it works. That's a pretty big jump. It is. It's a leap of faith. Um, I know some guys who have come through this in the past have who had good jobs have talked to their bosses and said, this is something I need to try in my life right now. And a lot of guys have had people been very understanding of that. A lot of bosses, a lot of companies who have said, take that time, and if it doesn't work, come back, and we'll take you back. Not every job is going to do that, but it's worth talking about to see if that's something, if that's what's holding you back, losing a job, that there is something waiting for you when you come back. Another thing is, um, a lot of people are afraid that entering postulancy is a commitment for life. And I want to say that postulancy is not a life commitment. Postulancy is kind of like dating. I'm sure all of you have dated before. And when you meet a girl, meet a guy, whoever you're talking to and you're dating, you you don't think I'm going to be with this person for the rest of my life. You're thinking I'm attracted to this person. There are things I like about this person. I want to spend time with this person. I want to see if possibly I could spend my whole life with this person. Um, you don't jump into a dating relationship thinking this is forever. Postulancy is a lot like that. You don't come into postulancy. You could come into postulancy that way, but I think you're doing yourself a disservice because that ups the stakes to such a level that you might not be able to deal with those stakes. And the stakes are usually not there. A lot of people who come in, leave. They don't give up their bank accounts. They don't give up their cars. They leave them in the care of somebody they trust for that year, and then they take that time to come back. Um, and then if they need to come back, it's still there. They might be having to find a new job if they couldn't get it to hold for them, but your stuff is still there. Your family is still there to support you, and so you're not really jumping into something forever. You don't say forever, boy. You don't say forever until it could be 8 years before you say forever after making that first step. You know, postulancy is a year, novitiate is a year, and in all those 2 years, it's very easy to say this is not for me and to leave. Um, the Once you get into simple vows, it's a bit more difficult simply because um, if you enter simple vows thinking I could always leave, it kind of changes the relationship. I think it's to enter simple vows and say this is not without the possibility of it being for life is to do a disservice to yourself there. But entering postulancy is not a life commitment. Um, like I said, it's like dating. And you're not dating the church. You can't date the church. You're already part of the church. You can't marry the church because you are the church. But you can definitely date a religious order. I'm attracted to the way these people live. I'm attracted to what they do. I'm attracted to the people I've met, which doesn't mean physically attracted. It just means I like what they do. I like what I see. I like who they are. And you want to get to know us better, get to know them better, whoever you're looking at, whether it's this group of sisters, a group of brothers, a group of priests, whatever it is. Um, so I would say fear is not always a bad thing. It means you care. It means that there's something important to you that you want to do well. And that while fear is a part of you, it doesn't need to control you. Um, and so I suggest, find somebody to talk to, somebody who can share your fears with. Sometimes sharing your fear is the first step to letting it go. I know when I entered novitiate, I was terrified, and I had to go to my spiritual director. I said, I'm terrified. I'm afraid that they'll ask me to leave. But once I named the fear and I shared it, it lost power over me. And I'm still here. I've been here now for more than 4 years, since I started this trip called Postulancy, Religious Life. So I say, peace be with you, because the purpose of discernment is to find peace, to find where you belong. So peace and good. I hope to see you sometime soon. Please take that chance. Nothing worth having comes without chance, without a little bit of risk. So good luck. Peace be with you. Bye.